How's everybody today? Good. You know, we've had a good week. We had a good day today. It's a good opportunity to get inside, and you know, the noise situation that we can create inside is really challenging for the offense and really the defensive players to communicate as well, which, you know, playing on the road always presents its challenges, especially, you know, the first time you do it. And I think the key to the drill is really good preparation, lots of mental practice, you know, everybody really zeroing in and focusing on the things that they can control. Get as many reps as you can between now and then, which are more mental reps, because we're not going to practice all that much just tomorrow. Because the key to the drill is having the discipline to be able to execute and do your job, even in adverse circumstance. And you're going to have to play through adversity. You know, anytime you play on the road, you know, you have to be able to play through adversity. So, you know, this is just another step in our team trying to create an identity for itself in terms of our maturity and our competitive character to be able to execute in situations and circumstances like this. You know, two things to report. Tyron Jones tore a tendon in his finger that required surgery, so he'll be out for probably several weeks. You know, Grant Hill is ill and has missed practice the last few days because of illness, and you know, you know, we're just, you know, trying to help him get well, and we'll see, you know, when he's able to come back and contribute to the team. But he would be very questionable for, you know, this game based on what he's missed so far. So, you know, this game is a great opportunity for our team against a really good Ole Miss team. So, I mean, I think if you're a great competitor, you look forward to, you know, this kind of competition, which, you know, is readily available in our league, and certainly, you know, available this Saturday when we play at Ole Miss.
I know you said earlier this week that Tony and Eddie would sort of battle at cornerback. Just how's that played out this week, and also how is Eddie looking from a physical standpoint?
Still playing out. Still playing out. So it's not done. It's incomplete.
Coach Saban, Ole Miss doesn't have the most impressive rushing statistics in the league, but could you talk a little about their running game, what they try to do, what you have to be aware of when you face that? Well,
you know, I think when you play these teams, they do a really good job of running the ball, especially on the perimeter. You got to understand that a lot of their running plays don't really count in running statistics. You know, if you got more guys in a box and they can block, they fake the ball to the back and throw it on a smoke screen or bubble screen, or flare the guy out there and throw him the ball and block the perimeter. So those things all count as passes. You know, they run a guy on a rocket sweep and toss him the ball. That counts as a pass, but it really is a run. All right, so when you play these kind of teams, sometimes their statistics are a little bit distorted relative to how they really move the ball, because a lot of their short passing plays complement their running game, and they're all tied together. So it's the quarterback's decision as to whether I throw this pass, which is like a run, it's like a toss sweep, except it counts as a pass, or we go ahead and block the play and try to run the play that we had called. And in most cases, if you got more in the box than they can block, they're going to throw the ball some kind of way. And several of the teams that they've played have tried to play them that way, you know, take the running game away from them as much as they could, and they've obviously been able to hurt them with explosive plays and throwing the ball on the perimeter and making plays on the perimeter. So, you know, to me, you got to really play teams like this and be able to stop the run and still not have to load the box to do it, because if you do, they're going to hurt you in the passing game, and that's what they have really done to people. So it's not, I think their offensive line is good. I think their runners are good. They're fast. So you got to be able to play both things, and certainly play very good leverage on the perimeter.
You've talked about this team's ability to bounce back from adversity. I just want to focus on the defense and how they've responded to in-game coaching throughout this year. Seems like they've maybe struggled at times and then responded, I guess, especially in the second half of games.
You talking about our team? Well, you know, when you give the other team the ball, like we did in the last game, we scored 21 points off of turnovers. So I thought defensively we played pretty well the whole game. In the West Virginia game, we were out of sorts in the first half. A lot of inexperienced players, you know, made a lot of mental errors. But I think progressively every game we've played a little better. This will obviously be the biggest challenge we've had all year with the multiples of things that they do. They've got a lot of tricks and gimmicks that you got to cover. Make sure your players know how to, you know, defend and respond to, which takes away from your ability of, you know, practicing against the nuts and bolts stuff that they're going to run 90% of the time that you really have to be able to defend. But, you know, we're not where we want to be on defense, but I think our coaches do a really good job of gathering information, making adjustments on the sidelines. We know the system well. We've got a lot of people that have been in it for a long time, and, you know, we all know how to adjust it to whatever they're doing. So, and we've made good adjustments. Kirby's done a good job in that regard, and but the information that we get allows us to do that.
The offense has been pretty remarkably efficient on third downs, especially for a first-year starter at quarterback. What's been the key to the success that you've had?
Well, you know, I think we're going to play a lot better teams coming up here that, first of all, can affect the quarterback with the rush. So we're going to have to do a better job of protecting. You know, I don't think we've really played against a significant rusher, you know, all year. All right, so that's a factor, protection. Second thing is, you know, as we get into our league, and we saw a little bit of it last week, we're going to get more closer coverage. We're going to get more people playing us close and doing things to take away what we've done. So I think it's going to get a little more difficult, all right, for us to continue that kind of efficiency. I think it's good planning, and I think it's good execution by the players. So I don't mean to take anything away from our accomplishments, because it's certainly been good, all right, but I think it's going to get more challenging, and you know, for us to be able to continue to progress when the competition gets stiffer, the coverage gets closer, the rush gets better. I think that's going to be the key.
You touched on it before, but with their formations, they're bringing out so many different formations. What are, for like Trey DePriest, what are you telling him to key on when they get into that formation?
Well, I think that, you know, linebackers basically, you know, we have keys for our guys. You know, it basically comes down to whether it's a zone block or a gap block, you know, how you fit the play. And it comes down to whether you got a guy playing two gap in front of you or one gap. All right, because that changes how you fit the runs. It also depends on whether we have a safety in the box or we don't. So this is not a question that can get answered in a simple fashion. All right, I mean, and in every formation, the keys are a little bit different. But when you play teams that run gap plays, which they do, where they pull guards a lot, which they do, then the action of the backfield is not the only focus. You know, in fact, they'll float everybody one direction, both guards will pull the other direction, they'll run a quarterback counters. Well, you got to key the guards. You got to know what the guards are doing. You got to know what the flow is, but you got to know what the guards are doing. So, and I think, you know, the position and the formation tells you what you can anticipate. And I think that's why it's really important to have experienced players. And Trey's very smart and very experienced, and you know, last year he and CJ did a really good job of reading, you know, plays when we played these teams that had lots of multiple formations.
After watching him this week in practice, how's Blake looked throwing the ball, and how's he come along in that regard?
Blake's fine. He's done really well. Hasn't had any issues or problems. You know, looks like his old self. I would not know that he ever was hurt, you know, based on the way he's practiced and the way he's played, and he hasn't had any discomfort at all after doing it, which I think is the real key to the drill. All right, thank you all.